Describe when you're seeing in real time came on. How many windows do you have right now, and how big are they? So
All right, so on the first day of the retreat, or maybe it was the second, that's when I started seeing colors in real time. And I think it was either that day or the next day I started seeing shapes in real time. It was two different places. Colors was here for some reason, and then shapes was here. Then day three, because I couldn't see the dice. I could see the colors, but I couldn't see the dots. So day three, I was starting to see the dice. Day four is when I started with the patches, and then I started seeing even more clearly. I started with the one patch here, and then later on in the afternoon here, I noticed I could still see both ways. And then the next day, we put them on both eyes, I could still see. And that's when I could read and everything. So I thought it was amazing. It started out with just barely seeing colors. And I noticed this with every window that opens. It's the same thing that happens where I'll barely see just the colors first, and then I'll start to get a glimmer of the shapes, and it'll be like looking through cheesecloth. And then if I get happy enough and I smile enough or and I play with it enough, the cheesecloth gets, it's almost like it's getting stretched until there's no cheesecloth anymore and it's just the window. So right now I have like a wind, so two of these connected. And so it's kind of like this now, right here in the front. I have one that's here now. That's starting to finally open up. Before it was just colors, and now it's like shapes and maybe more now. I don't know. I have one up here that's just light. So that one's opening. I'm excited for that. There's one here that's also just light. And then there's two here. Like, so I have two small ones here, but I can see through them pretty clearly. There's also a really big one down here. And then these ones are kind of like this. So they're kind of hard to see through. The ones on the sides.
so they're like vertical lines almost.
Yeah, but it's gotten wider now. So this one, so now I can actually see through it. Playing piano today just to see how well I could just sight read while I was blindfolded. I thought it was gonna be hard. I'm like looking at my hands and look with all my blind spots, it'll be kind of hard. It was not hard at all. So I'm like, oh, this is another video I could do where someone gives me random music and I could just play it. And so that'll be like maybe my next one.
Okay, excellent. Well, thanks for giving us an update on that one. Excellent. Sharon, can you describe, when your window came open and how big they are now?
I think it was during the second practice session. The first time I guess I heard the instructions wrong because I closed my eyes and and then Wendy says, no, 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 keep your eyes open. I go, oh, really? Okay, that's great. I'm not sure where the window is. I can see like that. And I think it's like quarter size on both sides. It seems one side's more clear than the other. And then there's like a line at the bottom here.
Yeah, and it's good to try, as Dahlia mentioned, try a patch on one eye and have your mask on and be
Yeah,
seeing.
I
And
did.
then the next day or the afternoon, switch it, put it on the other eye. And then the next day, both eyes. That's how we convinced Claudia that she absolutely was seeing. Because
Mhm.
many people get problems with the mask. They think, I'm just looking through the foam and I know it's getting clear, I know it's getting bigger, but it's just the way my mask is adjusted. So people get hung up in that. As you said in the video on the last day, you got to suspend belief. It's like, who cares? Doesn't matter. Don't stop all this thinking. Is it the Mindsight? Is it not? Like it doesn't matter. People are concentrating on it too much, and that's left brain. It's like you're there with a microscope or a magnifying glass, and that little boy or little girl does not like being under the magnifying glass. It's like the teacher or parent standing over the little child drumming her fingers. I mean, we don't like that as adults. Can you imagine how children feel? That's how your Mindsight feels. So with that left brain, you got to move away and not be staring at what the right brain child is doing because it's very self-conscious. You got to just let it do its own thing, and it will do it automatically. Very good, Sharon. And Pat.
Yeah, so I'm so excited about how mine unfolded because I didn't know. Like I was totally, I don't know what I was looking for, but I didn't know that I was seeing. So so the first day that we went outside and had the sunshine on our faces is the day that I started seeing the big swatches of color. But I could only see it when the sun was shining, and I'm like, oh, I've got to have more. I just have to have more. And I remembered you guys saying grin, grimace, whatever you can, make your facial muscles do. So I found that that really worked. So I was walking around, making all kinds of funny faces. And so my go-to now is I grin and I raise my eyebrows like that under my mask, and I can see. So how I found out I could see was on Thursday. So it was quite a few days in. The Power Girls had all been matched up with those of us who were not there yet. I was with Dahlia. Dahlia is showing me how she can read. And my brain is like, what the heck, girl? You're half my age. How am I going to get where you are, And then she's like, well, try putting a patch on. So I put a patch on one eye. And I guess I was just like thinking that there would be a miracle or something. And the heavens didn't open up, and there was no, no choir of angels singing or anything. And I thought, what the heck? So I put my hand out with this, and I'm like, ooh, ooh, I'm seeing different colors. And so I found my thumb and I put it near some letters and I held it out there and I did made my faces and I started looking and I could read. And I'm like, holy cow, it's a miracle. I can read. So I didn't even know that I could because I was looking, I guess I was looking for a big window to open up and say, here I am. And it turned out it was a little spot about the size of a pencil eraser. But when I saw these different colors, that's when I realized I was seeing something different. Now, every day I go sit in a totally dark room and I shine the light on my face and I make my faces and I check to make sure I can see the colors and then I check to make sure I can read something. So I started out with one kind of, I made a little diagram here for you guys. So I started out with one. So the big swatches are my big cheesecloth spot. All I see is color. So the little tiny dots, if I shine the light brightly through them, I can see they look different. And I know those are my windows. And they're starting to kind of merge together in the shape of about the size of a dime. And then I'm also starting to get one on the opposite side, and I'm starting to get that hazy cheesecloth color up here. So things are starting to happen, and I'm very excited about that.
Well, thank you so much, Pat. That's super interesting. Victoria, have you had a success with your windows opening?
I did. I had success on Monday when we were out in the sun. I think the same day that Pat was talking about. That's when I had the most success. I was able to see colors and shapes and figure out if it was a straight line or a curved line. Since we've been back home and practicing, I have a little bit of a window that's starting to open up down here. But so far, after that Monday, I see mostly like through it, like a cheesecloth, a pretty dense one. So I haven't had the success that I had on Monday. But it's almost like there are more areas that are starting to open up, even though it's a denser foam.
Yeah. And that's normal too. You'll have people that will just progressively get better. You'll have people right out of the gate they'll see, and then it retreats. And then you've got to kind of work at it like you're doing now, and then it's coming open again. There's so much of this that's psychological also. I'm not a psychotherapist, and I do know that I've heard some people say it's almost like at a deeper level, some people are a little bit fearful. I'm not suggesting that you are, but there's so much in our subconscious and way down deep that we're not even aware of. But the bottom line is if we keep working at it, we will break through all those levels and we'll get there anyway. It's just like that cone that goes to the point. You might be bouncing back and forth right at the mouth of the cone, but as long as you've got the intention that you want to do this, you will be moving forward and bouncing against other walls, and you will get to that same spot anyway. Thank you, Victoria. And Martha, give your experiences around this.
My experience is strange.
Everybody's different, don't forget. No two of us are the same.
Yes, I remember that the first time I saw, it was so open that I could see everything around me. And I say, but it's the same as in the real world. So I saw everything that was in the room. And my thinking that time was, well, now that I'm seeing what I'm going to do, it's supposed to learn little by little, no? Letters, shapes, everything. But I say, no, it can be possible. So when I arrived at home that day, I put my mask on and I didn't see a thing. So I said, well, maybe something different. And it was here in Mexico when I started to see with another structure. And then when I returned to with her, I could see it every time that I was with her, I could see everything. And I said, wow. But it was diminished little by little. So maybe it's because I didn't believe that. But it happens when I was with my eyes open, not with my eyes closed. But when I closed my eyes, I could see different scenes, different acts that happens. So, for example, when I arrived to the workshop with Wendy and Rob, I could see Wendy walking in the room and holding a paper, and I could see clearly in my mind, but I think it was my imagination because I had my eyes closed. And when I move the papers, I can see the shadow of the paper that goes, but it's with my eyes closed, even with my eyes closed. When I put my mask, and especially the mask that two different masks that are thinner, that the foam is little, and I have my eyes open, I could see everything. So I can read, I can make everything. I can go and cook and jump and make my exercise, everything. But what I like the most is when I have my eyes closed because I can imagine all the scents. For example, in the last session that we had with Rob, I saw Rob in my imagination. That's what I think. That is my imagination. I don't know. I saw Rob writing his name, like Rob, but I saw in my mind. And I said, no, it's my imagination. It's not clear. I like the ship that we saw the last session also. I saw the ship in my imagination, but not with my eyes open. So I prefer to have my eyes closed because I feel more the magical thing of this. And I have another mask. It's a little bigger than the other ones. So when I use this mask and I open my eyes, I can't see a thing, even with my eyes open. I can see some lights, some different things, but I can't see a thing. So I prefer using now this mask and not the others that are thinner, in the middle, like the middle of this are the other ones. For me, I don't know. I just don't know where I'm going and what I'm doing.
Because everybody's different. Okay, thank you, Martha.
Yeah.
Okay, too many. Bring us up to date. I know you told a little bit in the video that is posted, but give us a little more information on how you're seeing, if you have seeing windows, if you're seeing in real time, if it's just your intuitive seeing like snapshots and photos. Is it real time? Just give us a little more information.
Actually, I don't know how to say that, but I think it's like when I was doing the training with you guys, so I didn't believe to this kind of stuff anyway because as I said to you last year, I did this thing. I opened some of my bins, somewhere here, somewhere here. And from that, I closed. It was closed because I was thinking I'm cheating. Something was wrong with my marks. By doing the training, when I put the patches on my eyes, I realized what I'm doing was still a bit real, and I could see those color and then read them and then feel them. On Thursday, it get improved a little bit, and from that day, I guess I keep doing it. So when I came back, The first I did the training with you guys by WhatsApp, I get a little bit frustrated. Because why? A lot of people are saying, I couldn't say it. I guess we're doing direct knowing. And I say, wow, these things make me crazy. And then by the time I'm every day here on my apartment here in Edmonton, I do that. Someday I can see from behind my hearing here, I can see it become more clear. I can see my hand. I can do a lot of things with that, and even I can put those color here and there. But the second is it close. It becomes retreated. It becomes close again. It close. I can't see anything. I say, what the heck going on here? I get frustrated again, and I stop it. As yesterday, I didn't do it because I was saying, you know what, this thing just work for me. And then yesterday, you sent me a message. I said, okay, I have to come back again and try. Yeah, that's what it is.
So here's the thing, it's difficult to practice this on your own. There's no doubt. And that's one side of it. The other side of it is when you're practicing on your own. Now, if you've reached a level like Pat, Dahlia, Sharon, you're over the hump and you can just do it. It's okay. But when you're getting there, when you're practicing on your own, you are operating out of your left brain. So it's very difficult to be the choirmeister, the person running it, but then also to allow your mindset to come through. When you're in a group, you are a passive observer and you're just reporting. You're not active. You're not active. You just report what's happening, right? When you're practicing on your own, you're running the show. And whenever you are running the show, you're totally in your left brain. And of course, it becomes a spiraling effect because then you start feeling frustrated. And the more frustrated you get, the more you are in your left brain totally, and you've completely shut your right brain down. So it's better if you can keep yourself external. In other words, present yourself in a training session like this, and all you got to do is just report. You're not running the session. Okay. You say, well, Rob can run the session. I'll just do whatever he says and vaguely follow along. So you're not having to engage your left brain. The minute you engage your left brain and you are running the session for yourself, it's like a tightrope walk. And you've got that stick with the balance and you're trying to walk along that line. It's be tough. I've done it myself. I know what it feels like. I would encourage you and your brother especially, because we all really want you two guys to get this. Sure. You guys need this more than anybody. That's why I personally wrote you and encouraged you to come to the session. Sure. Because we really all feel in our heart, to Manny, that we want you to get this. So we are all happy to share the energy with you and encourage you, and just present yourself to the session, and it will happen by osmosis. If you get your body there, the Mindsight will follow. That's kind of how it works. As your vision changes, your Mindsight will be coming open, and if your normal vision disappears, it doesn't matter. You will have your Mindsight. That's what's happening with Claudia. She's actually done tests at the optometrist, and they said her natural eyes have improved. The optometrist says, that's impossible. That doesn't happen with this condition. It's a deteriorating condition. It's a progressive condition that only goes one way, and it's not the way we want it to go. It goes worse, right? It appears that hers is getting better. Now, if you ask anybody in the class, we will probably all say, well, you know what, Claudia, it's your Mindsight is overlaying on top. So when she does the tests at the optometrist's office, it's probably 80% Mindsight and 20% her physical eyes that are doing the test. The bottom line is, it doesn't matter. her eyesight is improving and she's accomplishing what she has set out to do. And you have set out to improve your ability to see, and your brother and you guys are supporting each other, and it will happen. Look at how Dahlia is seeing here. Look at how Pat is seeing. Look at Sharon, and Victoria's is coming on and off, and Martha's. I'm so happy that you're part of the class here now. That's very
Okay.
good.
Thank you.
And Neil, can you bring us up to date where you're
I
at?
guess in the first session, my intuitive was pretty decent. Even before the class, I was able to, like when I first heard about this whole crazy seeing without eyes thing, I was able to put on my blindfold and like see my hands moving in shadows and stuff. So that was all good. Then I attended the class. I was able to see a little bit of the colors and stuff through the intuitive. I still haven't broken through to seeing the real time. But you know, my wife sees in real time, so that's, you know, good enough. I guess someone in the household I can see in the dark if I needed to. Um, yeah, still working on it. So as of right now, like I was just telling Rob before we started today, I was sitting outside on my back patio, and as the sun was coming out, I had my mask on, had the binaural beats on, and you know, I put the mask on and it's pitch black, and then you know, about 20 minutes into it, you know, all the lights are sparkly, and I'm trying to see if I can somehow get those lights to kind of merge and you know, do everything I've heard from everyone so far, like how to get that window to open. So that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm still trying to get over that little bump.
Now, for the benefit of the group, I hope you don't mind, Neil. I'll just give a little observation here. So, guys, Neil really wanted to come to the seminar, and his wife, Artie, really didn't care whether she did or not. Isn't that true, Neil?
Yeah, it was actually very interesting because my wife didn't know anything about this stuff. Actually, you know, she happened to be in India for a month, which is when I had all the free time in the world. I started looking at all the random things, and I got down this rabbit hole of, you know, Vision Without Eyes and Henry Sugar and all this other stuff. And she comes back, I'm like, let's watch this movie, Henry Sugar. So I showed her the movie, and she's like, oh, that was a nice movie. I'm like, do you think it's real? Because I'm looking to go to a seminar about it. She's like, what are you, crazy? I'm like, do you want to come? She's like, sure. But I didn't tell her anything else, right? So I guess the good thing is like she came into this thing completely blind. She had no like past idea of like what to expect. Whereas I had like read some of the books or looked at all the videos, everything I could find. I started looking, so I was like fully into my left brain side, like trying to understand this thing. And she came into this completely like not knowing any of it. And I think on day 2 or 3, you know, she was one of the first few people to say, "Hey, I can see my watch," and she was able to see the room in real time, which is pretty exciting.
I don't know this to be true, but I'm just going to throw it out there, Neil. We're all trying to help one another. So please don't take any offense at this. Me standing back and watching, it's kind of like you're the guy that really wanted this bad, and your wife came along to support. And then in the second day, she opened up. You know, naturally, you know, whether we admit it or not, you might have feelings. Oh man, this was supposed to be for me. So, you know, there could be a little bit of psychological stuff here that you could be dealing with on either a conscious or unconscious level. So, I guess what I would encourage you to do is just let it all go and just say to yourself, well, you know, I'm super happy that she's seeing, and give yourself permission to see. Like, give that right brain side of yours permission to see. Because, you know, like it or not, we shouldn't compare ourselves to other people, but we do, even when people tell us not to. And especially in your case, you've got your wife right beside you, you know, every day. And I wouldn't say she's rubbing it in your face, but you might feel a little bit of that, even if it's not true, you know,
Right.
that here she is walking around, she can do it in a second. And what about me? You know, you're kind of like feeling a little bit left out. Now, all of this is normal. This is absolute 100% normal. So I would just say, you know, in a very simplistic way, give yourself permission that it's okay for that little boy in you who's connected to your, you know, right brain and your mindsight to come out and play. And just give yourself permission and then just let go and let it happen. And it will happen. when you've got the people that are in the room right now, the kind of power that's involved here in the energy around you, sort of in the ether, in the energy field, or whatever you want to describe, all of these people are around you. Okay. And every single one of us in these thumbnails has the intention that we would like you to have your seeing the room in real-time Mindsight come open. People know what it feels like, and we all want you to have it. So I would say, again, just like with humanity, just present your body here and your Mindsight will follow, and just let go. Let go of any of the intellectual discussions that you have with yourself, or any kind of feelings that, well, everybody else has got it, but what about me? I'm not saying you have any of that, but if there is any remote possibility that any of that exists, just let it go. And just say to yourself, well, I'm here. My intention is to see. And just by virtue of the fact that there's other people who are at a very high level around you, it's like a surrogate effect. They always say, if you want to learn something, get with somebody smarter than yourself, and they pull you up. It's automatic. If you want to learn something, you sure don't go to somebody who's less knowledgeable than you, or who can't do these things, like they're at a lower level than you. You always shoot higher and let them pull you up. So just visualize that everybody in the room here is like a surrogate to you, where they're just naturally and automatically, it's lifting you up, and they're kind of carrying you. When you just imagine that and feel like that, your Mindsight will start come wandering out. Like your full seeing the room Mindsight will come wandering out, just by being present with the other people that are experiencing it. Just let it happen. It will happen by itself. Throw your mask on. Don't have it too tight. Again, let's cheat. Remember, and for the people who are seeing the room, you can do whatever you want because you're seeing. So whatever works for you is okay. Where all of us are trying to help the people that need to come up to a higher level. The intuitive people, make sure that you have a little bit of, you can see through the foam edges a little bit, okay? And just humor yourself. Humor me, and just suspend belief and say, well, maybe it's my Mindsight, maybe it isn't, and just enjoy looking through the dots of the foam. When you do that, that encourages your real-time Mindsight to come open. It's a tool. Tumani, you've got a question?
Yes. The mask, supposed to be tight or non-tight?
Have it just a little bit loose so that you can see a little bit of light coming in. Just a little bit of light.
Because this one is tight right now, right? It's tight, right?
Yeah. If you put it too tight, then you won't see any little twinkles or stars or lights. We're using that light, cheating, we're using that as a tool. Remember, we do everything the opposite of school. Here, we want you to cheat.
To cheat. Let's cheat.
We want you to cheat. It's a tool to help the Mindsight come on.
Sure.
We basically are fooling the Mindsight. We're tricking it. It will come on automatically because it will try to give you more visual to see. So allow the mask to be slightly loose. Now, the other problem if you have it tight is you may say, oh, I want to make it real tight. I want it pitch black. That's okay. If you're actually seeing the room in real time, you can do whatever you want. But for those who are transitioning to seeing the room in real time, it's important that the mask not be tight. Because here's what many trainers have found. When you have a tight mask, until you've established you're seeing the room in real time advanced Mindsight, that tight mask becomes annoying. Okay, and the brain will fixate on it, both the left and right brain, and your right brain will just basically shut down. You don't want it tight. Now, once you're seeing the room in real time and you have that confidence, you can make the mask as tight as you want. It doesn't matter. You might find if you do it super tight, you could have problems, but in general, just be comfortable with the mask. And
Okay.
those who are at the intuitive level, have it a little bit loose and just pretend that you can see through those dots. And as we've already heard from some of the participants, some of those dots will become your mind sight in real time. Things will look slightly different color. They might be brighter. You might get areas of light. So just to put your mask down to Manny and leave it a little bit loose so that you can see just a little bit. Everybody have their boards in front of them. I'm taking a color and I'm putting it in your screen. You will notice on some classes we do a lot more exercises. On some we'll hardly do any. We do not want to do the same thing all the time. Your left brain gets to know it. Yes, that's great, Dahlia. And, you know, it causes problems. We can't be creatures of habit here with this mindset training. Anytime we get into habits, we have to break them. Just like when we sat at the table, we switched positions all the time. We didn't want to fall into habits. That's great, Neil, you got it. Anybody else? Try again, Martha. Go completely empty and look through those dots. If you can see any areas of the mask where there's dots, just look through them. And it doesn't matter. Try again, Victoria. Sharon, you got it. That is the correct color. And to Manny, is there a haze of color showing up? Only go empty and let go entirely. Yes, Manny got it correct. Well done. And Victoria got it correct. Well done. Martha, that's correct. Pat, I think it's just you, right?
Yep.
Okay, now I'm tapping it. So even send your hearing to the laptop. Smile, go empty. Take the attitude you don't care. Caring is a left brain thing, remember. Everything is the opposite of school. You don't really even want to pay attention to me. Just you hear my voice loosely off into the distance. And it's like, oh, I don't even know what Rob's talking about. I just hear his voice. The more you can be like that, the more your mindset will come on. Because that's just vegging out, spacing out, which puts you in the in-between state. Do the opposite of school. Slouching, no paying attention, be laughing, allow yourself to daydream, really take the attitude you don't care. I know it's strange, but it works. What color is in your screen, Pat?
Pink.
Okay, I'll give that to you. It's red,
Okay.
which is, you know, depending on your screen, it can actually come across as pink. So well done.
Thank you.
Yep, on these ones, these are the white letters on black. We'll go with them now because for the intuitive people, even the seeing in real time, you know, advanced people, they're easy to see because they're white against black. I'm taking one card, putting the others away, keeping a clean desk here in case your remote viewing aspect of your mindset comes wandering over to my house, and it will. It'll just do its own thing. I'm putting it in your screen. What letter of the alphabet is it? Try again, Victoria. Just let it appear. Remember, we cannot force this. Well done, Dahlia. We cannot force this. Try again, Martha. Try again, Neil. Okay. Tumani, you got it. Well done. Sharon, you got it. Well done. And we'll do a countdown for any remaining people. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Victoria got it. Martha, you're getting part of the letter. Okay. It is the H. So there is an L in an H, Martha. So that's what your mindsight was giving you. Remember, your actual intuitive mindsight is like a scanner. It's like a beam of intention or attention. And as you move your head around, it's like a beam, like a scanner that has to scan what's in front of you. And when that scanner hits part of the letter, it will suddenly report that to you. And therefore, in Martha's case, her beam was scanning the top left part of the H, and it gave the L. We see this all the time. You'll get part of the letter. That's indicative of the intuitive mindset. Have 2 dice in your screen. They're side by side. They're 2 different colors, and there are 2 different numbers on the dice. You can tell me each color. You can tell me what side they're on. You can tell me each number, or you can simply let your Mindsight add the two of them together. Dahlia, that's correct on all counts. Well done. Hold that up a bit, Neil. The color on your left is the color on the left. Try again on the other one. And Tumani, hold it up a bit. The color on top is the color on the left. And try again on the other color. Victoria, let's see. As far as the numbers go, the one on the left is correct. Well done. Try again on that color. The one on the right, the number's out by 1. And remember, that is a trick of the Mindsight. Martha, the color on your right is correct. The number on your left is the addition of the two. Very good on that. And try again on the color on the left. Sharon, that is the number, and that are the colors, and those are the correct sides. Well done on all counts. To Manny, the color on top is the color on the left. The color on the bottom, try again. And Neil, that is the color on the left. That is the color on the right. And hold up for the numbers there. Okay, the number is the one number on the right. That is the one number. The other number is different. Okay, is there anybody else? Okay, Martha, the number is correct for the one dice, and the color you have on the right is the color on the right. Victoria, the number on the left is the number that's on the right. Okay, everybody just lift their mask up for a second to see what's on the screen. Okay, so you know how well you did. It's blue. Yeah, there you go. Well done, Tumani. Yeah, very good. Everybody give themselves a pat on the back just because the Mindsight needs a little bit of recognition here. So masks back down, everybody. And I do talk a lot, and we have found that the more the teacher can talk, the better it is. It helps to shut down the left brain. The left brain gets tired of hearing all the talking, and especially it's almost at the same pitch. And that left brain will eventually veg out and not even hear what I'm saying. And that's great. So if you say to yourself, gosh, I'm not even really listening, I don't even hear what he's saying, you have reached the center spot between the left brain and right brain. And that's exactly where we want you. Okay, and your Mindsight will come on. So that is very much encouraged. I remember when I used to fall into a daydream, I would try to fight it. And then Wendy would say, well, don't fight it. If you fall into that state, even fall asleep, just let it go. Whatever is going to happen, just let it happen, because that's a natural thing. And the more you can be natural here, the more your Mindsight's going to come wandering out. This is going to be an exercise for the folks that are seeing in real time. As our folks that are seeing in real time read what's on the page, just follow along with them and imagine seeing the words on the page. This is a children's book. I happened to be at Walmart last night. I saw this children's book. I was looking around for things to do tonight, so I bought the book. So Dahlia, would you like to start out and read what's on this page on the left here?
Okay. It says, Pups help on the farm. It is a warm and sunny day in Adventure Bay. The Paw Patrol pups play happily in front of the lookout. Marshall is on the grass, juggling 2 green and 4 balls. Oh, wait, 4 red balls. Sorry.
Okay, that's great. 2 reasons for using children's books. Okay, well, there's more than 2 reasons. One reason is, books that are made for children, everything is done in a very simplistic way that the child within us understands. Yeah, we're in our left brain and we're an adult, so we have complex understanding. But don't forget that Mindsight is connected to the little child that has understanding as a little child. Okay, so when we work with children's books, that little child lights up inside of us. It understands these books. They're simple ideas. They're put into children's language, and the Mindsight likes that. This time it's Sharon's turn. Would you like to read the left-hand page?
I can make out some words.
Let me just move it really close for the first few.
Oh, okay. As the pups are playing, they get a call from Ryder on their pup tags. They they go back into the lookout at once.
Very good. Very good. That encourages your mindsight to increase because it's like, well, what are they saying? And there's a feedback loop to your right brain that says, well, the mindsight needs to be sharper to read this. So it will automatically improve. We're going to do a remote view, and it's going to be with playing cards. I'm shuffling the cards. I'm going to reach into the deck and grab one. I'm placing it face down, and I'm putting the others away. I'm going to not look at the card. I don't even know what it is. It's one of the 52 cards. Everybody gets one choice. Come to my house here near London, Ontario. It's an hour south of Ben Miller, where everybody was. So pretend you're there and just drive straight south. I'm by the river. Come in where it's all lit into the basement. Come to my table. Take the card and turn it over. Once everybody has got their choice, we can put them all up on the screen, and I'll get everybody to take their masks off, and we'll all see it at the same time. And now it doesn't matter if you get it or not. This is just to encourage paths to open to your right brain. We'll do a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody hold up their screen. And we're just waiting for Martha. Okay, and to Manny. So there's a color, there's a suit, and there's a value. What comes to you? What sort of tugs on you? Or you have a sense it might be. You feel it. Okay, and write that on the, okay. So everybody lift their mask up, and I'm gonna reveal what the card is. Here it is.
Oh,
Oh, I almost guessed that.
You got the ace, didn't you, Tuman? What did you have? Yes,
ooh,
ace.
ooh,
Very,
nice.
very good. Pat had spades. And here's the thing, Pat, you had 8 of spades. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, quite often we'll give that because that's a game of the mindsight.
Okay.
8 rhymes with ace. Okay. And the
Oh.
mindsight will play and it will give an 8 a lot of the time when it's an ace. Because
I will take it.
ace sound the same. Okay, who else? Dahlia, what did you have?
I had the 11 of hearts, but the ace of spades was the first thing that did come to my mind, but I just didn't trust it.
Ah,
Same for me. It's the
Right.
first one that came to my mind, but I didn't trust it.
okay, and you see that happens a lot. It's like, well, that's too easy. It can't be that. And you're waiting,
Right.
waiting, and waiting for your mindsight. And your mindsight's like, well, I already gave it. So very good, everybody. Let's give Tumani a hand here because this is his first
Yay.
practice session.
Yay!
Well done.
I need to go.
Thanks for being part of the
Bye,
session tonight.
Bye, Martha.
Thank you. Bye.
Everybody put their masks down and make sure you can see some dots of light. And remember, in all these sessions, we're trying to bring the intuitive people up to having their windows open to see the room in real time. That's my goal. And for the folks that are seeing in real time, that's their goal for you guys also. That's our intention that we've set forth. I'm going to take a colored cup. This was one of my favorite colors when I was practicing with Wendy. This one always seemed to come very easily to me, and I'm putting it in the screen. What color cup is it? Mark it on your board. Okay, that's correct, Pat. Victoria, try again. Tumani, you got it. Yes, Deli, you got it. Sharon got it. Neil, try one more time. And Victoria, it's a different color than that. And Neil, yes, it is. Okay, it's the turquoise blue color. Well done. Almost everybody got it, you guys. We're going to go with the pictures. We have the blue square, the green leaf, the brown rabbit, and the pumpkin. Now, a good way to remember this is the rabbit is heading over to the little pond, and the pond has blue water in it. So see a rabbit heading towards the pond. Now, as he heads toward the pond, a leaf falls on the ground, and he stops and he chews on the leaf. Then he continues on over to the lake where there is a pumpkin on a table. We're getting it ready for Halloween. So remember, the rabbit is looking over towards the blue lake. So that's the blue square. And as he goes by, he sees a leaf on the ground. It's a green leaf. He starts eating it. but he's on his way over to see the pumpkin on a table by the lake, the orange pumpkin. So that's a good little visual way to remember the colors. Okay, a little story. I'm shuffling the cards. Pat, you tell me when to stop shuffling.
Okay, stop.
And tell me which card to grab of the four.
The third one.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Here it is, and it's in your screen. It's one of those four cards: the brown rabbit, the blue square, the green leaf, or the orange pumpkin. Write down what you think it is. Neil, try again. Dahlia, that's correct. Pat, that's correct. Victoria, try again. Sharon, did you have something? That's correct. Well done. So the others, try one more time out of the four. There it is in your screen. Look for a color. I'm moving it in your screen. Okay, that's correct, Tumani. Many times on the second, it will be correct. That's correct, Victoria, also. It gives your Mindsight a chance to correct it. Oh, Neil, okay. I'll tell you, it is the green leaf. Well done, everybody. Let's do one more and we'll wrap things up. Tumani, since
Yes.
you're doing really well tonight, you get to tell me what we're going to do.
Word card.
Word cards, okay?
Yeah, yes.
What? Be and please. I've got those three cards. I'm going to shuffle them. Bottom card I'm grabbing. I'm putting the others away. And what will the word be, please? It's in your screen. This is the last task of the evening. Okay, Dahlia got it correct. Well done, Dahlia. Okay, try again, Tumani. Try again, Victoria. Sharon got it.
What?
Okay, one more try. We have 3 words, so only one more try. That's correct, Tumani. See, on your second try. There you go.
You know what? I supposed to do this one, and then my mind said, do the other one.
And Victoria, same with you. Well done. And it's the other word, Neil. Okay, and Pat, that is correct. It is the word what. So everybody can lift their mask up, see the word, and we're going to finish the session here. And well done, Dahlia, with your patches on, by the way.
That last game and the one before, I tried to know what it was beforehand just to see how well I would do. And I actually did know it before I saw it. So that was exciting both times.
Any other comments, you guys, on tonight's session? Tumani?
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Today I
Oh,
did
you're
well.
welcome. And well done, by the way. Well done, too. Everybody just give themselves a pat on the back.